So we back again with another video. It's your boy Hookman Go. We out here. This video, I kind of want to tackle a problem that I used to have in my previous relationship. And when I say relationships, it could mean friends, family, significant others. But it's a problem that I had growing up, and it was basically about living your own life. And I'll go more into detail about what that means in a little bit. So I know there's like a bunch of these living my best life posts on social media, and honestly they're pretty cringe, but I really do think that the root of that line has some pretty powerful meaning behind it. So I remember when I was younger, I wouldn't necessarily feel fulfilled on what I was doing in life. I mean, I was pretty young, but I still felt lost. I wasn't sure why, but I knew I had to do something with not knowing where I'm going to be in the future. So that feeling kind of festered into not knowing what I wanted to do. So I just ended up following the crowd, and eventually I thought that I'd find something that I liked and pursue that. Unfortunately, I never really found it while I was following the crowd. It wasn't until I stopped following the crowd that I actually found something that I was passionate for. So a little food for thought there. So while I was following the crowd, that sort of lifestyle kind of led me into looking for fulfillment in other places, such as girlfriends, because I couldn't really find it in myself. So I thought, hey, if I can't find happiness within me, let me try finding it in someone else. So I soon realized that most of my adolescent life and my late teenagers, early 20s, I spent in a relationship. And honestly, I didn't know why, but it makes sense now looking back. So basically, since I was lost and not fulfilled, I don't like to use happiness that much because I don't want to make it seem like I was depressed, because I wasn't, but I definitely wasn't fulfilled. So I looked to help others achieve what they wanted. So I would go into relationships and basically put my 110% into their lifestyles and goals to see them grow, which felt great, don't get me wrong, but it felt great at first. And after a while, I began to get drained because it ultimately led to my unhappiness. Even though I was making someone else happier, which feels great, it's never enough until you're happy, you know? So I was only helping someone else achieve what they want and altering my behavior to make them happy, which is great, don't get me wrong, you have to make sacrifices, but it isn't what I needed. So this soon became a habit, and it went full schedule on me, one girlfriend after the next, until one day I was so lost and so derailed, I knew something was wrong. So I kind of stepped back and decided to take a whole year to just figure out what I wanted, to experiment, to venture within, so I can find what actually makes me feel fulfilled. So this year, I had very high highs and very low lows, and it cascaded into dreams and ambitions to things that I'm pursuing right now. So all these dreams and ambitions, they were masked by my inability to understand what I wanted and trying to find it in someone else. But honestly, it all rooted back to just not being selfish enough to understand what I need and what I want, and just not having the courage to sit down with myself and figure that out. So in some cases, this can be very toxic when you try and find happiness in other people. And this is kind of why I wanted to bring up this topic. So in some cases, it does become very toxic. It could be a friend, a family member, it can be your girlfriend, boyfriend, it can be whoever. Just someone really close to you that you spend time with. And unfortunately, some people thrive off of that. So they will manipulate you to stay and keep helping them and keep pouring all your energy into their lifestyle. And that's when it becomes draining to you. So the only thing I would suggest with that type of stuff is to cut it off right away. Honestly, there's no easy way of doing it. You just have to cut those ties as soon as possible. Now, I'm not saying that you have to become enemies with that person. That person isn't a bad person because they need that type of love and support. It's just that person isn't what you need right now so you can fulfill what you want, so you can feel fulfilled and happy and figure out what your goals are and what your ambitions are and what your dreams are. So if you're going through that now, I would highly suggest you kind of just step back, and you don't have to go cold turkey with it. You can take it one day at a time. Just slowly remove yourself from that person's dependency. Because as soon as you do that, you'll feel scared because you feel like you won't have a purpose. But once you sit down and you start talking to yourself and just figuring out things that you want to do, figuring out just ambitions that you have, like, it's really hard nowadays to dream and take those dreams and make them a reality. I highly recommend you sit down with yourself and just figure out what you want. It's going to be hard. It's going to take a long time. But trust me, cutting those ties early in your life will help you in the long run. So basically, the moral of the video is to go get a hobby. Sit down and talk to yourself. Try and find out what gets you going. Try and find out what made you happy as a kid, because it'll probably keep making you happy. Find happiness and fulfillment in yourself before you try and find it in others. That's the takeaway point here. Once you find happiness and peace within your faults, your goods and your bads, and your future, you will see that every other relationship you have just becomes 10 times better. And it's going to be hard. And if you need help, find someone who's willing to help you. Find someone who will help you find and achieve the things that you want. But you have to make sure that that person is also in accordance with themselves. So they're also trying to do the same thing, because you don't want to go into that toxic cycle again. So you want to be able to get support from somebody, but also support them while they do the same thing. So that being said, I'm off this team. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Honestly, if you can let me know if my videos are like the point I'm trying to make come across in these videos, it really helped me, because I'm trying to simplify my explanations, and I just want to make sure I'm actually getting my point across. So if you're ever confused about something, please put it in the comment section below, and I'll love to explain it to you, because it just makes me get better at explaining things, which just is basically what I want. My goal is to make very short videos about these topics, and I'm practicing on trying to make it shorter, but it's hard. And if you have any input of ways that you think I can do that, please don't hesitate to tell me. So if you like this video, drop a like, show it to a friend, let me know what you think. Let me know if you have this problem. Let me know if you know somebody with this problem. And if you know somebody with this problem, show them this video and let me know what they think. That being said, I'm off this, guys. Peace. Hey. I ain't got no